Now friends, similar to input streams, we also have output streams. As input stream is used to read something, output stream is used to write something. It can be to a file, it can be to a memory location as well, it could be to a network socket as well. So we can write to various places using output streams. Okay. So the parent class is java.io.outputStream. So again, just like input stream, this is also an abstract class. It has some abstract methods defined, which are these methods, all these below, and it has some implementations just like input stream. So these are the five commonly used implementation of the output stream. First one is the file output stream. Whenever you want to write something to a file, you should use the file output stream. Then there is a byte array output stream. Again, just like similar to input stream, if you want to write to a byte array, you should use the byte array output stream. There it was, if you want to read from a byte array, you should use the byte array input stream. Similarly, we have the byte array output stream. Then there is the buffered output stream. Again, this also doesn't write the complete file in one go, but it creates buffers and then writes the file in small buffers to save memory utilization. This is the, built on top of buffered is built on top of five output stream. Okay, it is built as a wrapper on top of it, and it uses buffering. Okay, then there is a data output stream. If you want to write file to a .dat file, you can use a data output stream. And then there is the object output stream. It is used to any file or any object to a object, to a .ser, .ser or .dat file. So basically used for writing an object into a file. Okay, so the commonly available methods in the output stream is write. This you can see takes only one byte as an input. So it will only write one byte to the output file. This takes a byte array as an input. It is a overload of the same method. If you don't know overload, please watch the previous video where explained override and overload. So it is a overload of the same method, and this takes a byte array and saves it into a output file. Then we have this again overload of the method. It takes the byte array and it also takes the starting position and ending position. Okay, so it takes these positions and it will only write the values between these positions, not the complete array. Okay, then this is the closed method. Once closed, you cannot do any more writing to the output stream. And then we have the flush method, which is used to actually flush everything into the output stream. This actually finally removes everything from the memory and writes output file and closes everything. Okay, so these are the commonly methods which are defined in the output stream abstract class. These are the implementations. Now let's try to see code example of them. So let's start with the file output stream. We can see that we have this string at line number 8, and at line number 9 we are trying to write it to this output.txt file. Okay, so you don't have to call flush explicitly. After Java 7, these default methods are called by the compiler itself, so you don't explicitly have to call flush. It will do the calling for you. Okay, so let's try to run and see. So we can see here that we have the string data. We are doing data.getBytes because the write method takes byte array as an input. So you can see that we get this byte array. All the information is represented as bytes here. So after this line is done, and once we complete the execution of this program, we should see the output.txt file. You see it has appeared. Whatever was there in that string, that has been printed to this file. Okay, so this is file output stream. Similarly, we have byte array output stream. Again, you can see the difference here is, instead of file output stream, we are using the byte array output stream. So if we see, try to debug this as well. So this will write everything into this output stream. It will not write to any file. So we can check what has been written to this output stream here. Okay, we can see here that this was the bytes that our data was containing, which we were trying to write, and then this has been written to this byte array output stream BAOS object that we have created here. So if we do .toString here, we can see that all our bytes have been written, and we are printing this output stream here. So after executing this, we can see that this output stream is printed, not the input. Okay, so output stream contains the same what was there in the input, because it is a byte array output stream. Okay, so this is byte array output stream. Third is buffered output stream. Buffered, you understand, is, it is a efficient file management technique using buffering. Using this, we can write big files, okay, without affecting our Java application's memory. It is pretty much similar to the output stream. We can see that here we are calling write, and after calling write, when we will call flush. So after we call flush and we complete the execution of the program, then we'll be able to see the file, and you see it was buffered output.txt. So this file has been created and we can see whatever we have written here. Okay, so this is buffered output stream. Then we have data output stream. So you can see here that we have created data output stream object. So using this data output stream, we are writing to .dat file. Okay, we are not creating any object. We are simply creating a data output stream. First, we are trying to write an integer. Then we are trying to write a double, and whatever we write, we should see in the file. Okay. So if we debug this, as soon as we complete the execution of this file, data output.dat file, we should see. This is the file. This contains that value. Because it is a dat file, you cannot read it normally, but it contains the exact values that we have saved. If you want to test this, you can, as an exercise, create a reader and read this file and check whether it contains exact these values or not. How to do, we have seen in the previous section, so you can try it out yourself as well. And fifth is object output stream. So here we are creating a person object, and then we are writing person object to this person out.dat file. We can write to .sir file as well. We can write to dat file as well. Anyone that we choose. Okay. So when we execute this program, you can see that the person output.dat file has been created and it contains all the information for the person object. If you want to verify, write a input stream and read this file. We have already done this in previous section. So if you want to verify, do it yourself. It will give you some exposure and hands-on as well. So do it yourself. Okay. See you in the next section now.